Hi, I'm Mehul Harry with Developer Express. In the 2009 Volume 3 release, which is the last major release for 2009, we're putting out a new control for ASP.NET. It's a splitter control. It's called the ASPxSplitter, and it's going to help you to do better layout for your ASP.NET pages. So let's check out this demo. Here is an early look at the ASPxSplitter control. So it's a splitter control for ASP.NET. It'll be part of the ASP Experience Suite, which is part of the overall D-Experience suite of controls. The splitter control is really great for layout purposes. So say, for example, you have some content that you want to split out and allow the end user to resize or collapse the panels and so forth, and that's exactly what the splitter gives you. And in this example here, it shows off the scroll bars feature. So the scroll bars are displayed automatically whenever they're needed. So in this example, we notice that this content is a little bit too long for it to fit within this panel. And if I was to resize it and move it over here, we can see now the scroll bar is over here and this one is removed automatically. The splitter will also support minimum and maximum sizes. So say, for example, you have a couple of panels, and in this case I have a left and right panel. You can first set a default size. So in this case this is 200 pixels, a maximum where they can't take it beyond the maximum of 400 pixels. So even if they try to drag it further, you don't want the end users to oversize it too much. And also, there's a minimum size. So this way, the end user can't completely lose the panel if you don't want them to, if there's some content that you always want it to be displayed in some minimum size. And of course, a splitter also has to support the ability to collapse and expand. So here, we have the expand and collapse button. So if I was to hit this, this will collapse this panel. And now, I'm only showing the top and the bottom. And if I just wanted to show the bottom, I can collapse the top as well. Now, you have control over which buttons of these are shown, so you can tell it that I don't want it to collapse this way versus up or down, and you have that option. So for in this example, we can collapse it either way, so we don't show either of these panels if I hit the expand button. Now we also have the capability to resize as we're dragging and dropping. So as this content is being resized, you'll see that the scroll bars and all the panels are being adjusted, as well as the content. And just like our other ASP.NET controls, we're going to give you a ton of client-side events that you can track. So in case you wanted to do something on the resizing events, the collapse or expanding events, or the init event, you have that option. So let's say, for example, I was to collapse this. You can see all of the items that were affected by that event. And this is a client-side event. And also with the client-side events, you also have some client-side functionality, which I'll get to in just a minute. But one of the most common uses for splitter control is the ability to load content from a different site into a different panel. So in this case, we have two panels in the splitter, and in the left one, we've embedded a ASPX navbar control that's loaded up a few of the popular search engines. So in this example, when I click Bing, it's going to load the content URL here to bing.com, and same thing if I click on Yahoo. So this works similar to how frames work within the browser, except that you have more options with the ASPxSplitter control. For example, I can resize this panel or just show the content-based URL panel. And finally, there's also client-side functionality available with the splitter control. So say, for example, I don't want to allow any resizing on these panels. So once I unclick this checkbox, the user can no longer resize this. However, they can still expand and collapse the items. So if I re-enable allow resizing, immediately they can resize these panels. Now we can also give the users the option on the client side to choose which panels are collapsed if you don't want to use these buttons. So say, for example, I collapse the first item, or I can expand it, or instead I want to collapse the second item. Now you still have the capability to use the expand and collapse buttons of the actual ASPxSplitter control. And finally, you can set the content URL from the client side as well. So say, for example, instead of Google, I want to load from the client side bing.com, and I can do that easily. Now, as you saw, that was only a run-through of the demo. And this is early stuff. I know it looks ready, but it's still quite early, and we're going to finish up a couple of things, but we'll have a beta for you close to the release date, which should be around November, December of this year. Thanks for watching.